In a world saturated with content, your trusted RBN embodies that spirit, espousing a philosophy grounded in accountability as it tackles Black social issues, family issues, and political issues with the rigor and fervor that are both rare and necessary. Under the audacious motto, we dare to be bold, not silent. The channel invites viewers into a space of unapologetic discourse, where pressing issues are unpacked with intelligence, empathy, and resilience. Standing at the intersection of empowerment and education, this platform recognizes that discussions around Black social issues cannot be contained within narrow confines. Hence, it sprawls into diverse territories. Beyond the headlines, your trusted RBN explores the undercurrents shaping Black people issues with the lens that is both piercing and compassionate. A foray into the channel's political discourse reveals a landscape where accountability isn't just championed, it is demanded. Through thoughtful analysis and discerning critiques, the platform urges viewers to envision the political sphere devoid of passivity. Here, individuals are not mere spectators, but active participants steering the narrative and progress. Furthermore, engagement is not a one-way street on this platform. Viewers find themselves in a vibrant community where their voices are valued, where they are urged to be bold, not silent, and to engage actively through likes, comments, shares, and discussions that foster a rich and diverse tapestry of perspectives and insights. In a nutshell, your trusted RBN is more than a content hub. It is a pulsating, dynamic entity that stands as a bastion of accountability in a world inundated with noise. It doesn't just venture to spark discussions, it ignites movements, steering narratives with a force that is unyielding, yet respectful, grounded, yet visionary. Subscribe today and become a part of a community where you dare to be bold and not silent, where your voice matters. Now, welcome to our live stream. Have the conversation.
I'm a king, cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win, every day I get it in. I'm a king, cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win, every day I get it in. I'm a king, and I will never kneel. Plotting for my fall, you getting hanged for treason. I don't aim to please, do anything I feel. Haters gonna talk, don't listen to the shit. They tryna be like me, they know they can, yo. Can't even get lost, I'm on a pedestal, sitting on my throne. My neck be decked in gold, I don't do no hoes, I've got a queen though. I'm a king, cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win, every day I get it in. I'm a king, cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play, I just win, win every day I get it. I'm a king. I told you guys before, ready for the war, to get me way much more. Gather all this poise, add them to my kingdom. Shout out to my fans for pledging your allegiance. You get a reward, the best flow you've ever heard. I don't be mixing with birds, I'm a lion on the surge. Always pushing to the edge, facing arrows, never scared. For my greatness I'ma serve, and only under myself. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win every day I get it in. I'm a king cause I do what I want and what I need. I don't need you to nobody, I'm busy doing my thing. Mess with me and you could get forgotten, just let it sing. I don't play it, I just win every day I get it in.
Hey everybody, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are your trusted RBN, your real Bravado Network, where over here we address Black people issues, especially those issues that keep Black folk from being together. And we don't attack the person, we attack the issue unless the issue is the person. Welcome everyone to a special live stream on your trusted RBN. Right off the bat, please everybody, those of you who are joining us from the Culture Clinician YouTube channel, you are not seeing things. The Culture Clinician is with us tonight for this topic. I reached out to the brother, asked him, I said, listen, I think I got something that you can sink your teeth in on it. And the brother got back to me and he said, oh, I'm with it. I'm with it. So thank you guys from the Cultural Clinicians YouTube channel. Please, if you're viewing us from the Culture Clinicians YouTube channel, let me slow down. I was talking to El Guapo the other day about my stuttering and me going too fast. If you're joining us from the Culture Clinicians YouTube channel, please support the brother. Hit that super chat, hit that like, share the stream, support the brother. If you are viewing from his channel, all super chats, all cash apps will go directly to him. They do not go to the Real Bravado Network. So if you are joining us from the Cultural Clinicians YouTube channel, please do your normal thing and support the brother, okay? And when you do, we'll pull it up here on the screen. And those of you who are watching on the Real Bravado Network, feel free to do the same. Your boy, you know, we can't do none of this without your support. Whatever it is, we appreciate it. And every dime over here at the Real Bravado Network goes right back into the platform. Also joining us, those of you who are joining us from the Trailblazer Radio Network on YouTube, welcome to the Real Bravado Network. We are simulcasting on 3 live YouTube channels: the Culture Clinician, the Trailblazer Radio, and the Real Bravado Network. We are all streaming this message live tonight. So hopefully we won't keep you. This ain't gonna be no lead attorney. This ain't gonna be no lead attorney 10-hour live stream. Lead, what do you think about the fact that we got 3 brothers live streaming simultaneously together? What do you think about that, Lead?
They are amazing.
I think it's amazing too, brother. Welcome and welcome. Oh, what was I thinking? Before I forget, everybody, please
acknowledge me.
That's right. Acknowledge the Real Bravado Network. Acknowledge the Culture Clinician YouTube channel. Acknowledge the Trailblazer Radio YouTube channel. Acknowledge the chat. Acknowledge the ninja watchers. Acknowledge the haters. Acknowledge us, please, and support through and through. Whew. Before we get to our topic today, I actually want to chop it up real quick with the culture, with the culture clinician. Okay, I'm going to bring him up right now because actually I got a question for the brother, and I want to chop it up with him real quick. Hold on a second.
How you doing, sir? What's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing? Did I do a fair enough job introducing you?
You did a king's occurrence, man. You did a king. You gave me 5-star treatment, brother. You gave me 5-star treatment.
I got to do what I can do, and I appreciate you for lending your voice over here, lending us your channel on this live stream. Before we get to the business today, I've been thinking about this all day, and I actually have a question for you. And I know this question is going to sound silly on its face, but it's going to tie into what we do today. Why do you think Black men are so remarkable?
We're very resilient. The real Bravado Network. We're very resilient. We went through Jim Crow racism. We're multi-talented. We're multifaceted. Our swag is impeccable. We're super athletes. Our drip is impeccable. I think we have. I think we're the original. We are the original, man. I think we got the God spark, and I think because we have the God spark, because we are the original man, I think not only the enemy has a visceral hatred for Black men, but many others have a visceral hatred for Black men because they don't understand the brilliance of Black melanin and the power of Black men. Black men are phenomenal, being overcomers, dealing with some of the things we've dealt with. You've dealt with things, I've dealt with things, but still we rise. So we're very resilient, in my opinion, and many other things, to say the least.
Absolutely. For me, and it's just right on top of what you just said. And for me, what makes us very remarkable is, for me, I think people, not only the dominant society, but I'm going to pick on our ladies a little bit, even our own women, grossly undervalue how incredibly remarkable we are, because most of the things that we achieve and atone in this lifetime, we build it out of the mud. We are the originators of creating something from nothing. And when you start looking about, the end of slavery, the early reconstruct, coming out of slavery and into Reconstruction, talking about nothing from nothing, most of our African, ancestors came out of slavery. Brother, they came out of slavery, a lot of them with nothing on their feet.
Right.
Tying rags on their feet, walking hundreds of miles across the country, coming out of South Carolina, coming out of Mississippi, coming out of, Tennessee, Alabama, walking. And they were walking, most of them were walking to go find their lost wives, husbands, children, and mothers with nothing on their feet.
Right.
We build, especially Black men, we build, and we can see this, unfortunately, generation over generation of Black men, that we typically don't get things passed down to us, right. But everything that we accumulate in a lifetime, it's literally out of nothing, out of thin air.
Right, no doubt. I totally agree. Yes, sir.
And so when I hear a woman like, and we're not going to spend any time on this particular woman, but
right.
When I hear an Ebony K. Williams talk and make the statement that Black men are not ambitious enough, that heifer don't even have, she doesn't understand. She has the privilege of saying that because of the remarkableness of the Black men that has opened up that avenue for her.
Right.
So when it comes to today, you and I were talking yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Was it last night?
I think it was last night for a few. Yes, sir.
Yeah, about YouTube
Yes, sir.
suppressing black male content. You are a phenomenal content creator, and you provide your analysis on the issues that you decide to tackle are excellent. You have an excellent analysis, and I think that's all rooted in life experience plus the education.
Yes, sir.
Plus,
Excellent.
plus the hard work.
Yes, sir. You're right.
And I mentioned this last night.
Mhm.
And what another thing that makes black men remarkable, we have to go out and achieve despite a whole machine, an industrial, socio-political, and corporate machine set up and lined up in front of us to prevent. YouTube, I told you this last night, will not allow another Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They will not allow it.
Right.
So when you see your content is not the only one that gets suppressed. Let me tell you something. Angry Man, which I think is a good brother, Angry Man has over 500,000 subscribers. This randomly, at least once every other month or so, they would just unclick. All of a sudden, you won't get the notifications for his live streams anymore.
Right.
They won't get the notification. Let me tell you something. You go live quite regularly. I haven't gotten a notification from your channel.
Right.
I'm going to let you know right now. I'm probably about 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
When I watch you now, it's because I done turned on YouTube and I just happen to be scrolling through and I see that you're live.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's a machine out there to prevent what Kevin Samuels' ultimate mission was. And he was becoming very successful at the end of his life. And we talked about the 10% last night.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you're not paranoid when you talk about, like earlier today on your stream, you mentioned the suppression. You know what I mean? You're not being paranoid. It's absolutely happened. And another thing our ladies need to understand, why you guys, for the reason why you guys won't line up against your black men, alongside your black men, why the world do you think the social political environment plus corporate America are all standing in lockstep in front of your one singular black man? Why do you think it takes that much of a force from the other side to stop your, as Ebony K. Williams would say, your non-ambitious black man? Why do you think that?
Mm-hmm. You're asking me the question?
I'm asking the ladies, but I'm asking you rhetorically too.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking you too. For our ladies, why you think that's happening with black men?
Well, I succinctly feel, real bravado, that I think the machine understands that when black men and black men come together, we are an indomitable force. Our women have been compromised. I've said this several times on my show, even though I talk trash sometimes. But I said that black women, in my opinion, pre-antebellum slavery, post-antebellum slavery, and on up to the 60s, there was not a woman that was greater, in my opinion, than the American black woman. I stand on that. They were couth, they were feminine, they were beautiful, they were gorgeous. But the black woman's went through a metamorphosis because of social conditioning. She's been compromised based on indoctrination. She's been compromised based on vicarious trauma. She's been compromised based on overgeneralization. And she's been compromised also because she lacks the proper requisite skills to control her emotions. I've always said, real bravado, a woman cannot be ready for the mission of the office of a wife until she can control her emotions and understand that she has a dark nature, just like men have a dark nature. You and I have a dark nature, and she has a dark nature. And so if you don't know how to control that dark nature, you will become a saboteur of your own ignorance, but also a saboteur of that relationship that is vibrant and was once vibrant. But what people don't understand is that black men love black women. We just don't love the behaviors of some. We know that there's a remnant of good sisters that are doing the right thing, and I salute all the good sisters that are doing the right thing. But I think the machine understands that if they can keep us separated and at odds against one another, then they won. And they saw the momentum, and sadly, our women were compromised, and now the chickens have come home to roost. Sadly.
Yeah, absolutely. So not to go too biblical tonight.
I don't go ahead. I believe the Bible's powerful. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, not to go too biblical. When you even look through the Bible, because most of us claim to be Christians, and I'm talking general, not even specific stories, but throughout the Bible, every time there was a powerful man or a powerful king or a powerful individual who was tapped by God, any one of those, when those men failed or they were compromised, how did the devil do that? What vessel did they use to compromise or bring down those men? Huh?
Right. The woman.
Their woman.
Right. There's always
their woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I damn near got my head blown off when I mentioned this to a group of ladies last week. When you have a 10 toes down man who's rooted in his faith or rooted in his purpose, you cannot move that brother. You can't destroy him. You can't break him. You can't compromise him. Anything. The only thing that's fitting to compromise any man, not just a black man, you do it through his woman.
Right.
And I said, look at Samson and Delilah.
Mm-hmm.
It took Delilah to bring down Samson.
Mm-hmm.
It took her. And I tell people, why do you think your woman has the ability to compromise you? Why do you think your woman has the ability to ruin you? And a lot of them can't answer that. Then I have to remind them, as a woman, where do you come from?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you come from?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them will say, I come from God. No, you don't.
No, you don't. Right.
You do not come from God. I know I'm probably going to pucker a bunch of assholes from saying this to our Christian women. You come from us.
Right.
And anything that comes from us, we are susceptible to that. So you as our woman, we are susceptible to you because you are a part of us. You are made from us.
Right. They could get it twisted. The original woman came out of the original man, but all souls come from God. So they got to qualify what they mean by that. But if you look at it from a terrestrial perspective, like when people celebrate queen worship and say Mother Earth, the original woman came from the original man. She came out of him. So man is the epigenesis of all creation. He is the God spark. He is the personification of the master builder and the master creator. And so every subsequent woman came from woman through the seed of man. And so they don't understand that their power. I told a couple in therapy, I said, ma'am, your power is in your femininity. Your power is not the box with your man, but your power is in your femininity. And a man's power is in his ability to reverence and give thanks to God. But sadly, the world doesn't see that. And I try to convey to them over and over again that when black men do travel, they're traveling for black women from the diaspora or from Latin countries. But they love American black women, but it's hard to find women that are willing to respect them, honor them, and that dirty word that many don't understand, real bravado, obey them. Obedience is part of protection. And listen, let me be real clear. There are some men that abuse power. I don't believe that men should abuse power. Just because you're in a power position don't mean you should abuse the power. But many come in broken from vicarious trauma. Many come in broken from indoctrination, real bravado. And because of that, those are cognitive distortions called minimization and magnification. And what it does, it reduces their ability to be in synchronicity with that man because they're coming in from a deficit mindset instead of coming in with their guard down, willing to be intimate, to be groomed by their husband, as their father was supposed to groom them to give them the baton to be with their husband. But it's a lot of dysfunction in the black community, man. It's a lot of dysfunction in America. And it's getting worse and worse based on what I see, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I brought you up real quick before I jumped into my monologue because I wanted to kind of chop this up and then let people know from your channel that your channel wasn't hijacked or compromised in any way. So they need to see that right away. But I started out this stream like this because one of the things that we're chartered with as men, whether we want to realize it or not, or that we've forgotten about it, is we are in part the stewards of our public ethnic image.
Mhm.
And after watching Brittany Renner on various platforms, the question that has come to my mind, which we're going to get into in just a second, but we're going to kind of slow march our way there. But one of the things that one of the questions that came to me is, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why are we giving this woman a platform? And now I'm not going after Brittany herself. I'm going after the behavior that Brittany represents. Why do we, as I'm because we're going to be looking at video from Club Shay-Shay. Club Shannon Sharp, who I immensely respect because he's one of those brothers that had to create it out of nothing. You know, how does he saddle his reputation with that? And how does he go forward without not having that rub off on him and his platform?
I see your point. Right. But you know, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead,
go ahead.
Well, sadly, Real Bravado, YouTube has become a popularity contest. It's not always about substance. It's about what's popular and what's trending and all of that. And what I've learned, and I'm sure the lead attorney have learned it too, and many content creators, when you talk about things salacious, your numbers go up. But when you talk about things that are pertinent to the body, soul, mind, and spirit, you don't get any views, man. And so you have to be creative in trying to inculcate trends and also topics that are pertinent to mental wellness. And I think I do a very good job of doing that, but it's very daunting. It's hard because it's a lot of work. I don't think people understand the power and understand the work behind trying to create content. But back to Club Shay-Shay, I think it's because you know Shannon Sharp knows what he's doing. He knows that Brittany is controversial, so that gets an audience, that gives them money, that gets them views and clicks. So it's literally that simple. One will argue, though, why would you want a woman that has the mental machinations of Brittany Renner on your channel? But it's about popularity, man, clicks and views. Unfortunately.
And it, which, trust to believe, I understand that because that's the low hanging fruit analysis of that. But here's my question to, which is going to lead into what we're going to be doing today.
Right.
60 years, our black male image has been just drugged over glass charred asphalt, and to what end do we celebrate this? So are we just now giving? Are we just residing ourselves to the fact that black people, that our culture is not something to be proud of, but our culture is just ratchet culture?
Well, I'm glad you said that. I'm going to send you a clip, Real Bravado, in a minute, and you can play it on your channel. But I just came from the Black Manosphere Conclave. You can play it on your channel. It's about 3 minutes. And it highlighted black male excellence. But did you not know that no one talked about it? It was one of the bigger events of this current, of this year, the Manosphere Conclave 3.0. I was there. Obsidian was there. The lead attorney was there. Many intelligent professional brothers that are trying to reclaim and restore the black male image. But you will have thought they would have got a lot of publicity, but they do that intentionally. Like Michael Jackson said, they don't really care about us, and anything that's pertinent to the aggrandizement of the black male image many times has been sequestered or minimized. So I'm not surprised at that, but I'm going to send you the video if you want to play it at some point. It's about 3 minutes. We're trying to come together as men from the Black Manosphere Conclave and many other venues as black professional men to trying to restore the black male image. And that's my mission. That's always been my rally cry. I've always been an advocate for men and male empowerment, but sadly, I feel like sometimes I don't get the support that I deserve, because I put my heart into this. I'm a licensed professional. I take risks doing these shows because, it's not really PC. And sometimes when you do it, you would hope that people would show love, like the same brothers always showing love, the Gregory Scotlands of the world, the Salty Balls, the Quiet Storms, but a lot of guys don't support it, man. And some don't support it for me to read. Some of us hate watching, but
Hate
I'm
watching,
I'm at the point that I don't care anymore. I know where my bread is coming from. I know where I can make more money, And I tell people to enjoy as long as you can. I'm not saying I'm going anywhere, but I got to be more creative in how I move forward because my time is my money, and I can't make quality content. I don't get the support that I feel like I deserve. And like I always tell people, we don't have money, just share the stream. You can't even get people to share the stream, man. So I'm like, why am I going hard? And we don't get the support that we need as black male content creators. So I appreciate you, man, showing love. I appreciate you allowing me to come on your platform. And I'm grateful to have served. You did a great job celebrating me. And at some point, we'll do a show together, having a conversation like this. And I like your energy. And I think you're a good brother, man. So I appreciate that. And I salute you as a black brother.
Thank you. So we're going to get a little bit more into that. So let's get to the meat of this today.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun with those of you that are joining us from the Kosher Clinicians YouTube channel. Hey, just because he's up here with me, don't forget, do your thing. Hit the like button, share the stream, and hit that brother's super chat. You know what I mean? Support the content. And for those of you who rock with me, help a brother out. $1, $2. I'm grateful for all of it. I'll be right back with you, okay?
Right.
All right. Let me see where we go. Okay, hold on a second. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. Remove from the studio. Okay. All right. Before we get started,
let me talk to you.
All right. Let me talk to you for a minute. Oh, before I talk to you for a second, hold on. Let's do this.
Money making is my thing because I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
All right, shout out to the homeboy Eric Jordan with the $2 super chat. That's right, acknowledge me. Don't just acknowledge me, acknowledge the chat, acknowledge the kosher clinician, Trailblaze Radio, who will be up with us in a little bit. Acknowledge all of us and acknowledge yourselves for lending us a little bit of the thing that you can never get back. And Eric, I got something for those $2, okay?
These last $2.
Yeah, them last $2. I appreciate it, brother. Find another $2 for me. All right, shout out to Gregory Scotland coming all the way from the Kosher Clinicians YouTube channel with the $5 super chat. Hold on, brother. I got something for you. All right, Gregory Scotland. Very sad Brittany can get praise, but a video of black men in suits can get criticized by the black sisterhood. Absolutely. I appreciate you, brother, for the support. Continue to support. And also, real quick, speaking of, The Quiet Storm is now a channel member of the Real Bravado Network. I appreciate it. Shout out to you, brothers, and I got something for you if I can find it. Thank you, brothers. All right, here we go. I got some. Let me see. What else do I got? Do I got something? All right, hold on. Make it rain. All right, shout out to the sister homie Harmonize with the $5 super chat. Hold on, I got it for you. Let me get to it. Let me get to it. All right. Thanks, Almond, for the $5. Been waiting all day. It's awesome to see black men together. Dropping knowledge. This is going to be good. Absolutely. And I got a little something for you.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Almond, for the $5. Okay. I think I got through everything. Do I got somebody? I don't know. Come on, y'all keep showing this love to a brother, and we gotta. All right, make it rain. Shout out to Messy Michonne with the $10 super sticker. Thank you, Messy Michonne, for stopping through. When I woke up after I got off work today, I saw you were live, but I was too tired. I just rolled back over, Michonne, and went back to sleep. Oh, that's exactly what I did. Let me see. Did I miss anybody else? Did I miss anything else? Nope. I think that's everybody. All right. Let's go ahead and get back to it. All right. Listen. Let me talk to you for a minute. And normally I kind of go freestyle, but I kind of wanted to be deliberate. So I actually end up writing some of this stuff down for myself. So hopefully y'all forgive me about that a little bit. But listen, black men have wrestled with the complexities of our image for, you know, our popular term is 50 years. It's actually been 60, well over 60 years. Our representation has been tainted by a number of things, you know, the media portrayal of us, our own self-inflicted wounds, and it gets reinforced, you know, every time we give platforms to individuals or to issues that perpetuate the worst of us. So today we're going to dive into the conversation, not that is just not essential, but it's urgent for Black folks. Okay. Now, in my real life, I work in the medical profession. In my real life, I do life and death intervention in my real life. And during COVID, we had to do this thing more than normal, which is called triage. When you triage, let me explain to you what a triage is. A triage is the process of determining like the priority of intervention. It's who gets the priority of care. When you triage a patient or when you triage patients, you got to sit there and you got to make an assessment of who gets the care first, who gets the priority. And treatment is based, and you make that determination based on the severity of the condition that the person is in. The kosher clinician understands when I talk about triage, because triage actually goes and fits in multiple areas, not just the physical medical, but also the mental medical as well, which is what the kosher clinician provides. Any kind of therapy or clinically based therapy, you also are going to have to triage, okay? Now, the reason why we triage is we're going to have to prioritize the limited resources that we have. So how does triage fit in with Black people? For those of you who've been rocking with me for a while, you've heard me say quite a few times, Black family or Black culture, or however you want to codify it, from my perspective, we're no longer failing. We're no longer sick. We are terminal. And from a medical perspective, we're not just terminal with one particular illness or disease or terminal disease. Our cultural body has been infected with multiple terminal diseases. Now, some of them are going to be slow moving, some of them are going to be aggressive, and some of them are just is in the middle. So as Black men, when I'm sitting around as a Black man, I'm talking to other Black men, and we're out here diagnosing the plethora of terminal issues that the Black cultural body has. We are going to have to triage. We're going to have to triage the one particular terminal disease that has been plaguing the Black culture for the longest, has been our public ethnic image. It is the foundation, it is the source of the majority of the other ailments that happen with Black folks. So we're going to have to triage this. And today we're going to talk about, and with the Culture Clinician and with the Trailblaze Radio, and I'm probably going to drop the link for anybody who's brave enough to come up here and talk to us, brothers. I'm going to drop the link so you guys can come up and talk to us. We're going to have to triage this stuff. Now, we're discussing the importance of Black men shaping and protecting our national ethnic image, and you're tuning into the Culture Clinician YouTube channel, the Trailblazer Radio, and the Real Bravado Network. But be sure to like, share, and engage in the chat as we develop this topic today. So, and if I'm talking too fast, y'all let me know. You know, historically, media and pop culture have often portrayed Black men through a very narrow, sometimes distorted lens. And it's not just the media who's done that, but it's been done from within. It's been done from within our own women. And let me tell you guys something. Some of the fighting I've been seeing, that some of the crap that I've been seeing being hurled at like Shannon Sharp and more specifically Deion Sanders from other Black men about how they're doing stuff and they're and basically coming up. We also contribute to portraying a certain image or a certain narrative about one another. Now, these portrayals, while not always reflective of reality, can become an imprint to the collective consciousness of our society. Now, when you're talking about Black men, and we started off the stream talking about what makes us remarkable, imagine the immense responsibility and power that Black men hold in having to triage, isolate, and treat and reshape this narrative. When Black men are actively engaged in defining and expressing and representing our authentic values and demonstrating what actual ambition looks like. And ambition doesn't always look like a brother who's earning $300, $400, $500,000 a year. You got to know that brother's story to be able to make an assessment if that brother is ambitious or not. And our ladies are sometimes, some of our ladies are not qualified to assess the level of ambition that a brother has. Tonight, I'm gonna invite everyone, regardless of your background, regardless of your programming, regardless of your experiences, to really engage us in this conversation. Because when we talk about the national ethnic image of Black folks, we're talking about something that impacts everyone with melanated skin. And the fact of the matter is, I cannot be the only one who's sick and tired of being sick and tired. While I understand the pull and the sensationalism of a Brittany Renner, and I'm talking about her specifically, but I'm talking about her behavior. While I understand that train wreck is not, it's hard to turn away from it. At what point are we all responsible for keep inviting the worst of what represents us and giving it a platform? Even, and I'm talking now specifically to the guys, to the men and the women who have the platform. Shay Sharp, 1.7 or 1.7 million viewers on Club Shay-Shay. And I'm not singling out Shannon Sharp specifically. That's my dog. Love me some Shannon Sharp. But that doesn't mean you don't get to hold them accountable. Love Stephen A. Smith some days. Doesn't mean that you don't get to hold them accountable. Doesn't mean if I see the Culture Clinician popping off of some garbage, don't mean I'm not gonna pull up on his stream and be like, yo, bro, what is this? the person who championed our image, our black male ethnic image the most was Kevin Samuels. The one who had and I always tell people, believe it or not, nothing Kevin Samuels said was new to black men. You know, it was just new to a lot of our sisters because you weren't accustomed to hearing it. But a couple years ago, the culture clinician and Kevin Samuels were on the Lapeef Network, and they were talking about this very issue. Now, Kevin kind of jumped a 23-year-old dude on that live stream, but I'm not going to really focus on the jumping of the young man. I'm going to focus on what the conversation was. And because the culture clinician was there real time, he's going to give us not only what he was thinking during that, but now what he sees now that it's about 2 years removed. Okay. So before we get into the Brittany Renner stuff, let's hear from, and shout out to the Lapeef Network for lending me this little piece of content. Okay. Hold on a second.
Choose carefully what you wear and how you project it. And not to cut you, Sway, but I'm going to be honest with you. When I was 12, 13, 14 years old, for Easter and for Christmas, my mother and my uncles, because my father died when I was young, I got a suit. I was wearing a suit from I was 12 years old. So this thing about not everybody can wear a suit, everybody can wear a suit. You don't have to wear a suit every day of your life because may not be your craft on what you do. But every man should be able to own a black suit, a gray suit, or any other color that they might like for themselves. But you definitely must have at least 2 or 3 or 4 suits in your closet that you can go to a upscale affair if you have an invitation to go to such.
I agree with you.
It's not even an upscale. No.
One second.
No.
Like
you say no?
Like Kevin,
no, it's not even an upscale affair. See, first of all, hey everybody, how you doing?
How you doing, Kevin?
How you doing, Kevin? Sway, how old are you? So I'll know who I'm talking to.
I'm 23.
All right. So if you went into if you went in and you were up on murder charges and you had an attorney, would you listen to his advice or would you go on what you think?
I would listen to my attorney's advice.
All right. Well, as a professional image consultant who actually gets paid to do this, everything you were saying is what's wrong with the black male image. And I can produce any data that anyone wants with links to where young black men have done the own work of trying to see how differently they were treated by simply just dressing male appropriate. We have been in our community. I guarantee you this. I'm 52 years old. I grew up in the projects, single parent household, government cheese. If you want to match being broke, we missed legitimate meals. This generation, no offense, but y'all ain't missing no meals. And
real quick, before you sound off, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Shout out to My Sexy is Strong with the $20 super chat. Here we go. She threw that dub down, didn't she? My goodness. Woo, one more time.
Damn.
Oh, thank you for the $20, My Sexy is Strong. Where you been? Showing love. Salute to you in the chat. Thank you for joining us. And let's not forget here we go. The chief pharmacist of YouTube, pills, potions, and poisons. Play me some. You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna do something. Hopefully, I don't get copyright strike for this. Hold on. I'm gonna give you something. Hold on a second. I ain't gonna play. All we need is one mic. We're gonna stop right there because we don't want them pulling me down in the middle. Play something. So thank you, pills, potions, and Poisons for the $10. Play me something. I love the tune. Shout out to RBN. Thank you for joining us and appreciate the support. And your boy is back, Culture Condition, with another $5. One thing, black men have to stop looking to black women for their validation and everything like that. Man,
Bang! Bang! It's good.
That right there. That right there. And let me tell you something before we cook on that clip. Let me put that back up, Gregory. Let me put that back up real quick. And I'm not making no excuses. If you're, I was just going to say, an adult male to about 50 right now, looking for validation from black women is built into your cake, because we were raised exclusively by our mothers. There was not the balance in the house. So you're looking, so yeah, we need to stop, but you're asking, this is not an excuse, but you're asking a group of men to do something. You're asking them to not believe that their left arm is not their left arm. That's truly the work. We got a generation of men out here right now that you got to convince them that their left arm is not their left arm. All right, Culture. Listen, okay, so what was your initial thoughts on that first part of that clip from the Lapeef Network?
Well, first of all, I sent you the video about reclaiming the black male image. It's real short, about 3 minutes. So you can check your email. You can bring it up whenever you get ready. So I did send it to you. So check that out. So there's some truth. Two things can be right and wrong at the same time. I think that what Kevin said was spot on. I think every man should have at least one suit in his arsenal. But I think the young man perhaps felt that he was being attacked to some degree, So there's a generation gap between the older generation and the younger generation. But everything Kevin said was spot on. I do believe that every man should have a suit in his arsenal. Am I saying you got to wear a suit every day? No, I'm not saying you got to wear it every day. But you should at least have a nice suit or a blazer or some jeans in your arsenal. If you want to wear, streetwear, you flex it every now and then. But I think as a man gets older, you should personify what our ancestors personified. And many times you look at the black men from the 40s and 50s and 60s, many of them had suits, they wore nice hats, they were sharp. My dad was like that. And so, it's a different generation, man. And, this generation, some, not all, but a lot of the Zennials, not Zennials, but Alpha Z and Millennials, they're very sensitive. And anytime a person is coming from a place of love and respect, sometimes people interpret that as being crass or being callous, and that's not the intention. And like I said, many are not used to it, so they don't interpret what an elder is saying, because there's a generation gap. And I went through it myself, being a former teacher, and then sometimes even now trying to being a therapist, trying to inculcate certain ideas. People misinterpret your intentions, and anything you say, because people are so sensitive, they interpret as being mean, misogynistic, or any other victim terms that people use due to what they want more or less experience and are more or less trying to project onto you.
Yeah, the one thing that and let me tell you something, I identify with the young man, but when I was watching the clip, I was screaming at him. I was screaming at him just to shut up. I was screaming at him to shut up and listen. I'm like, shut up, listen, shut up, listen. The reason why I identify with him, because he was 23. I remember what I was doing at 23. When I was 23 years old, I got hired on at the Urban League. And if you guys don't know anything about the Urban League and the inner workings of the Urban League and the culture of the Urban League, you guys need to do that. Believe it or not, some of your most successful, listen, ladies, if you're between the ages of 25 and 40, if you want a community-minded, productive, eligible black man, he's working at the Urban League. The Urban League has more college-educated, community-minded, community civic, ambitious black men than a little bit. They're working at the Urban League. Just go there, quitting time with a plate of food, and pick one. They're there. But I was working at the Urban League, and my supervisor, I was 23 years old, and this man, I mean, every piece of work, every proposal, every email was scrutinized. And my response was very similar to this young man's.
Right.
I would not listen. I was always defending it. I was always trying to explain it. I was very flippant in how I talked to him. You know what I mean? And there was a generational gap between me and this.
Generational gap. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And but here's the thing. Once upon a time, that generational gap, so it wasn't a thing that we need to take into consideration, because the younger sire tipped his hat to the older sire, and when that older sire was trying to educate, there wasn't that back and forth,
right?
Because that at that time, that younger sire was in a home with a father who taught him the difference. And one of the things that I think I'm going to talk about later on next week is the fact that we don't. I think Kevin may have said it. You may even said this. All Black men believe that we're all on the same level. Don't matter if you're 20 and that Black man's 70. That you don't think that there's any. You think there's always equilibrium amongst the men, and it truly is not. And so, because we have a 2 or 3 generations of brothers out here, they're not going to understand or get it or be able to take advantage of the knowledge until they're my age. And when I didn't start understanding what that man was doing and other men that came along the way were doing for me, culture, I didn't start understanding that crap until I was like 38, 39 years old.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? And then I turned angry. I turned angry because I missed, even though my father wasn't in the home, I didn't meet the man until I was 30, but there was opportunities for me to learn. And because I didn't have that baseline respect, I missed out over a decade of being able to apply knowledge that I'm now 45 and I'm trying to play catch up. Like, working 20 hours a day, going out collaborating, listening to brothers, even if the brother's younger than me, listening to brothers who got better knowledge about certain things, trying to play catch up. And so when I hear that young man right there and I'm screaming, shut up and listen, shut up and listen, I'm screaming at me, that we need to, because what Kevin is doing, despite his tactics, you know what I mean? He's trying to prevent the next 12 to 15 years of his life of making the same repeatable mistakes.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I saw.
Right.
Yeah. Frederick, are you there?
Yes, I be.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get you up on the screen, brother. Let me see how we do this. No, I know I can get you up on the screen. Hold on a minute.
That. Well, hold on.
There we go.
Let me slide my camera. There we go.
All right. So, what do you think?
I mean, I have been in agreement with y'all, to be honest with you, because I mean, like you, TJ, I mean, the minute he said, I was screaming at myself too, because I mean, honestly speaking, that's like me saying the same thing to myself, or me now saying things to people that are guys that are younger than me now. Dude, just chill out, be quiet, listen for a second, listen to what this guy, what this, I don't know. It's what kind of grinds my gears a little bit now is that when you try to talk to the older, to the younger guys and try to put knowledge on them, knowledge from experience, from experiences, well-earned and hard-won knowledge, they shrug that off. Like, they don't want to hear that. Like, look, old time, I ain't trying to hear what you guys say.
Right.
Or better yet, I don't want to, I ain't trying to move in that manner. But sir, I'm asking you, telling you to move in that manner so you can avoid some pitfalls, avoid some pitfalls early. You don't want to walk in the same pitfalls that I walked in, because you walking toward that path. I don't know, it grinds my gears a little bit when I talk about that, because of, like I said, because of, you know, how I was raised, and plus how I try to impart stuff to not only my sons, but also to other guys that are younger than me. You know, everybody wants to take the quick and easy way out. You know, well, you know, if you want to do that, then make a cake, or better yet, shop on Amazon, or do something else that doesn't require a lot of thought. But if you want to go take it the right way, listen to what I'm telling you and apply the knowledge, and then maybe you might be able to avoid those pitfalls. And then if you do get into that pitfall, now you know how to handle it.
Yeah, definitely. And my thought, you know, my thoughts on that, especially when I'm listening to Kevin and watching a young man, is I'm listening to also Kevin's. I'm listening to his frustration, because he knows what's going to happen with this young man if the young man doesn't at some point absorb the information and apply it. He knows. And when you know something like that, let me tell you something. I talked about greatness. Kevin was great. You know what I mean? Sometimes greatness is impatient. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's very impatient. And sometimes it's hard to get taught by. Why do you think a lot of, you know, great athletes can't go into coaching? Deion Sanders has proven to be the exception, but most great high-level athletes can't coach. They don't have the patience. They don't understand why you can't do what they do. And when you have a brilliant mind, sometimes a brilliant mind can't understand why your mind can't function like that mind can. Kevin had a brilliant mind. So you had a couple things there at stake there. But here, this video is an example of the fight for the image. He's seeing a young man, a young, good-looking man who probably has some potential there. You know what I mean? And he's trying to lay down, but we got this generational thing. Let's take another look at it, or continue to take a look at it. Hold on a second.
Y'all talk this, we ain't got it shit like you ain't got it. And I had suits. I was made to dress appropriate because when we were younger as Black people, we still had the church. And we had at least one place to go every week to where we looked good. One. And this has been since the turn of the last century. So miss me with this ghetto, broke bullshit. Miss me with the they did it in the 50s and 60s and still got lynched bullshit. That is revisionist history. If they had been on the Edmund Pettit.
If you guys, he's talking to Sway, the guy right up under Kevin Samuels. Look at his face. It's a face of disagreement and confusion about what Kevin just said.
Mixed in with a little disgust.
It might be, but this is a face of not getting it. This is the face of lack of experience, lack of knowledge, lack of teaching, lack of understanding. Just look at him. And I don't fault him entirely. You know, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
This bridge with fucking fitted caps, Jordans, t-shirts, tattoos and shit. No one in the world would have mobilized to stand with us because they wouldn't recognize us like they don't today. Miss me with this, well, these young guys do it when you grow up. No, you do it now because your life is more at risk now. And you don't know what you're talking about. And this is the same issue I have been.
If you saw, the guy starts chuckling when Kevin goes, you don't know what you're talking about. I remember being 23. I remember somebody telling me, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't get it. And me laughing at them like, no. And I didn't say it out loud, but in my mind, I'm going, bro, what do you mean I don't get it? I get it. And I'm telling you now, as a guy that's almost 20 years older than this fella at this time, I didn't get it. And neither did him. But you can to a degree, and I'm going out on a limb right here by saying that you can almost tell the guys that were not raised with the male influence because they flat out reject. That's the thing we accuse our ladies of all the time: rejecting new information, not accountable, unwillingness to learn, being willfully uncooperative. This is what you're seeing in that chuckle and stuff like that. And I'm guarantee you he's reacting not what he's hearing per se, but what he's feeling about what Kevin is saying. Culture, you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah. So yeah. There's some truth to what you're saying. A lot of truth, but there's a lot of nuance to it too. This young man actually has a father. He said he had a suit. But I think he was perturbed by Kevin at the time by the way he felt like it came at him, and but he does have a suit. He does have a father. And I think he has a grandfather too. So he talked about it later in the stream, like, I have a dad and a grandfather. But it's like two things can be wrong, right and wrong at the same time. Kevin's intention was noble. His intention was to talk about personifying the black male image. But Sway Dog, okay, God, get it, but why are you you sound like you're hostile. So it's interpretation, but it's interpretation is how he received the information. But I think what Kevin was saying, it was in good faith. But then also I think the young man took him being a little aggressive, but this young man definitely has a father, and he has a grandfather too. But you are correct about the generation gap and how there is a remnant of young men that when you try to educate them, because I've heard young men call, older gentlemen like you and I, well, you're not older, you're younger than me, but they call us old ninjas, which I think is very disrespectful and dismissive. They're called men that paved the way before them old ninjas. And that's why what we're trying to do now, we're trying to more or less start a new movement, start a new conversation about reestablishing the black male image. The black male conclave that I was at with Obsidian, a lot of the brothers was very powerful. Brother Shannon Rawls and Jason Brown and the Soul Sartorialist, and also Carnell Smith. It was good. It was a conversation. It was very powerful, man. And like I said, I sent you the video anytime you want to. Anytime you get ready to.
Hold on, let me play it. I got it.
You know, the Tar Heel State, great state of the union, but y'all see me with this Leo Tar Heel State, man. We know the Tar Heel State, great state of the union, but y'all see me with this Leo swag. I got some heavy hitters in the house. That's the style Sartorius. Look at that fine brother, man. He got that Leo swag. We got my man Carnell Smith, the fraternity coach. I call him the Napoleon Bonaparte, or what they say in France, Toussaint L. No, this is Toussaint L. Overture, guys. This is Toussaint L. Overture. Look at my man Nathan Dayton. My man Nathan with that Pisces swag, man. He's fresh and fit. He fit. He's smooth. Got that chocolate skin. Hey, man. That melanin popping, man.
Hey, man, I'm just the man next to the man. Right there. That's all.
But guys, this is a grand occasion, man. The Style Sartorius, a very brilliant brother. We're doing great things at this conclave, man. Style tactician, man. Look at that swag, man. He got that Leo swag, man. He got that Leo swag. And my man Carnell Smith is doing the Yemen's work. His work is predicated on male empowerment.
We're doing our best
no doubt.
to keep men and boys out of jail and prison.
Yes, sir.
For pregnancies they didn't commit.
No doubt. Starting with you, Carnell. We talk about male empowerment all the time. We talk about the importance of male empowerment.
Yes.
This conference has been phenomenal, to say the least. What have you gotten from this conference? Brother Nathan, get in the middle too, man.
Absolutely.
What have you gotten from this conference?
The most positive thing that I've seen is this is a phenomenal opportunity to counter the narrative that black men don't support black men.
Yes, sir.
When this is a fallacy, and here in this environment, we see men uplifting each other, supporting each other. Look, coaching, mentoring, dropping.
Hold on real quick. I wanted to kind of jump in on what he just said there. The fallacy that black men don't support black men. Typically what I found to be, black men, we're very leery of a lot of stuff. We're very, we are leery. So when you see brothers putting their money and their time behind something, that's an indication of that's the validation that brothers are, that this is acceptable. So a lot of times, you might not verbally hear, guys, cheerlead or whatever the case may be, but watch where they put their money, watch where they put their time. That's the validation. That's the validation. We're gonna come back to that in just a second. I want to finish up this Kevin clip, and I want to jump it. Hold on, before I go any further, because I be on people about not acknowledging these super chats.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the
All right, shout out to Craig Lamar. What's up, brother? I'm glad to see you back with the $2 super chat. Hold on, suited and booted, absolutely. Look, we were dirt poor too growing up, man. Dirt poor. But we had all them purple and blue and black and white and beige. My grandmother kept that you had to look good going to church. She didn't care if you look good going to school. She didn't care if you look good walking around outside. But when you went to church, haircut, grease on the face, pressed suits, you know what I mean? Nothing out of order. So absolutely. So suit and boot, I get that. But thank you, man. I guess you found your last $2 and you wanted to share them with me. So here we go.
These last $2.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. And shout out to Gregory Scotland again with the $10. The brother is supporting Roy. This is one reason why there has to be a separation in Black community. The existing one cannot continue. Yeah. No saving, no damn community, no pro-Black baby mamas or simps or non-productive men. And maybe, and brother, that's a whole stream, in itself. Let me see. This one cannot continue. I mean, part of me goes, I don't know how much choice do we have? It's Angry Man about 2 months ago did a stream about should Black men just pack up and walk away? And when he did that stream, man, I seen a brother who struggled with just the notion of it. When he was outlining his thesis throughout that stream, Angry Man is usually very confident and bold in his statements, in his ideals and his philosophy. But this was the first time I ever seen him conduct a stream with trepidation. Any Black man, when you say to him, walk away, away from his Black female sisters, his head intellectually understands why that's a thing. But that heart takes his breath away. The notion of that, you know what I mean? The notion of that going, am I really considering this right now? And you're looking and you're assessing, you're looking over the landscape. And it's kind of like when God was thinking about destroying the world for a second time, and he's looking over the landscape, trying to find somebody that could redeem his people. You know what I mean? Right. And God's sitting there going, am I really doing this? You know what I mean? And, and thank God for Jesus saying, Father, send me. I'll go. When they couldn't find a righteous man to do that. So Black men, when we hear, I hear the mantras of Black men, save yourself, go your own way, the passport bro movement, which I will never poo-poo. You know what I mean? Because the question is, how much of your life do you give to wait on a sister to get on your program?
Right. Yes, sir. Right.
But even that statement if you are a brother who loves your women, which I do, it takes your breath away. You know?
Yeah. Well, that goes back, River Bravado. Dr. Wim Glasser talked about, so reality therapy is a treatment model that's used mostly for kids, but it can also be applied for adults. Dr. Glasser said that needs drive behaviors, and Dr. Glasser said there were 5 elemental principles that more or less pontificate that sentiment. He said it was power, fun, freedom, belonging, and survival. You know, Frederick Douglass said that power never conceded to anything without a struggle. It never have and it never will. The jousting for power has been since the fall of man, where the woman, according to Genesis, it said that she had a desire for her husband, but he would rule over her. So basically, she wanted power. She wanted to have the same power. And so, what people don't understand in a relationship, you can't have a relationship where you have 2 heads. One got to lead, one got to follow. But the problem is, sadly, as I said earlier, some, not all, but there's a percentage of our sisters, not all, that have been compromised by liberal dogmas and liberal ideologies. And so when you look at people that voted for policies that were antithetical to the unison of black men and black families, black men, after Kevin Samuels passed away, and there was a percentage of women celebrating, brothers said, okay, the hell with it. We see now that these women are not necessarily our women, because Tavis Smiley said that all skinfolk ain't kinfolk. And Jesus even said that just because they were Jews in ethnicity, they were not circumcised from the heart. So we got to get away from the spirit's notion that just because a person has the color of skin, they are of the same when it comes down to consciousness. The prophet said, who is my brother? He said that he that does the will of the Father, that's my brother. So that superseded Jewish hue and also Jewish ethnicity. It was about a heart and a consciousness that superseded the exterior. And sadly, many, not all of our sisters, but there's a percentage that have not been trained to be wives or been taught to be wives. They don't understand the importance of being on a man's program. I'm not talking about dusty men. I'm not talking about men that are not doing the work. I'm not talking about men that abuse power, because as I said earlier, it's always under that veneer that he's going to abuse power, and it's the color purple narrative. But I'm talking about a man that has shown himself worthy. He's a kind man. He's a good man, and he want to lead you. But as I said earlier before in the past on prior shows, Real Bravado, a woman cannot be ready for the office of wife until she learns how to control her feelings. She got to control her feelings for the greater mission of that relationship, because consistent with the scripture, she is bone of his bone, flesh of his flesh. The woman was made for man. Man was not made for the woman. The man is not an accessory to the woman, but the woman was made to support the man, and then to help that man become the better version of himself. But I see it all the time in therapy on Real Bravado. Many men are suffering in silence. They don't challenge bad behavior. And therefore, instead of them leading their women in love, they are worshiping their women in subjugation. And those are two succinct or different things.
Yep, here we go.
Appreciate
right
it.
on. Absolutely. So so everybody listen, look. The reason why I took this journey on this path real quick, and we're not going to get to the rest of it because you gotta manage the time, when I'm thinking about Kevin, when I'm listening to the culture clinician, when I'm filtering all of this stuff, and I'm thinking about the triage, my resources. Where do I put my resources to fix this, to see if I could turn around just because something is terminal? That's terminal for man. It ain't terminal for God, So where do I put my resources? And I'm thinking about my not only my public ethnic image, but my image within my own. And why we need as Black men, why it's so important, why it's vital that if we don't rescue anything else, we rescue that. And I'm going to play something real quick. And when I say rescue it, that means sometimes sacrifice. You may have to sacrifice your $20 over here for your $500 over there. We sit around here chasing around that $20 because it's floating right at our arm's length. But if we ignore that and go work for that $1,000, you know what I mean? That's going to be more rewarding, more fruitful, because you might capture that $1,000 that might turn into $10,000 while you over here chasing this 20. I see the Brittany Renners of the world as $20.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't have access to Shannon Sharp. I don't have access to Charleston White or any of these larger platforms to have these conversations, and I understand it from a business perspective. But we got a responsibility. White folk, let me tell you something. When somebody gets out of order, they wrangle them in. If you don't believe me, ask Andrew Tate. Ask Andrew Tate. Let's take a look at Brittany Renner real quick. And we're going to go over to Club Shay-Shay, but we're going to talk. Let's take a look at this because she was a different woman on Club Shay-Shay. And we're going to talk about that too, the chameleon stuff. So let's take a look at this real quick.
Nah, you don't want to throw no drink, Miss Brittany.
I think you want that drink.
No, man, I don't want to throw no drink.
You want me to throw a drink on him?
No. Oh, this
ain't a waterproof set. So
yeah, it's uncomfortable to be wet.
Is it?
Yeah. I've never been wet before, but yeah, I'm sure it's uncomfortable to be wet.
You know, moist is one thing, but wet is just another. It ain't what we shooting for. You know what I mean?
You ain't get wet?
Isn't that
Miss Ma'am?
No.
No, come on, please. Come on, man, please.
No.
Come on, man, please.
I need you to be kind and respectful to my guests.
Oh, boy, come on, man, please.
Where that pig poker at, man? Go ahead and get the pig poker out. Wait a minute.
As a man, I ain't got no problem with this privately. I'm just saying, I'm that kind of dude. I ain't got no problem with this privately. This isn't private.
Right.
This ain't private. I forgot to look at how many views this got. But I'm sure it's over 60, 70,000 views. I'm pretty sure from this platform. This woman don't know this man from a hole in the wall. She hikes up her all the too short, whatever that is, leopard hyena skin she got on. Look at the brother. He got his arms stretched out. He ain't touching her. He because he know better. You know what I mean? he know what's in store for him. But the platform belonged to men. To a degree, this black man allowed her to climb on him like this. Publicly. This very brother that she's straddling and all this other stuff has had multiple streams, been on multiple platforms, railing about the public image of black men and the public image and how it's being assassinated, who's doing the assassinating, and the behaviors of the women doing it. And here he is participating in it. To what end?
Wait a minute. I did nothing for that. Wait a minute. Miss Runner, Miss Runner.
What the actual fuck?
Yes, sir.
I got no words.
Cultural clinician.
Well, it's a microcosm.
I'm looking at your face, man, and I can actually feel it from your expression.
Yeah, man, it's a microcosm of a macrocosm. It's a microcosm of a greater macrocosm. Ratchet culture has become the new norm. And, sadly, because the black church or the church in general have dropped the ball on personifying feminine virtues and those things that are right. Now it's become the new norm. And so when you try to challenge their behavior, when the brother at the bottom try to challenge behavior, we're seen as haters instead of seen as agents that want to change bad behavior. And that's why black men are saying, I'm not coming back protecting the community, because they feel like a lot don't want their leadership. And then when you say, well, you can't be my woman being disrespectful, you're controlling. But, the Minister Farrakhan said, you can't protect what you don't control. And the problem is, real bravado, people assume that control means one thing. Control can be mutually inclusive. With overlap, there's bad control, there can be good control. Healthy control is needed for a healthy relationship, but unhealthy control is not needed. And they don't know how to equivocate the differences or vacillate between the two.
Oh, you know what to say about that, TJ? I don't.
Well, right now I'm sitting here quiet because I'm trying to turn over new leaf culture clinician. For the last 2 months, every other word out of my mouth on my stream has been a cuss word. So I've been doing good today. I'm trying to elevate how I disseminate my information and do my content, and and
you better than me, bro.
Man,
you better than me, because bro, that's fucking disgusting.
Right.
And the simple fact that he allowed that. We live in a time in 2023 that our women can blatantly disrespect us, and that is normal.
And the fact of the matter is, those brothers, and let me tell you something, those brothers were powerless to do anything because this was a live feed. Everybody understood what that meant if they reacted probably in the way that they didn't ask this woman to throw water on them, and you saw their reaction was authentic.
Right. Surprised.
And they couldn't do anything. That woman, her behavior was the equivalent of her or holding a gun to their head.
Basically.
Because any response to rebuke this could have gone sideways from them. Their channels could have been taken down. The police could have gotten in, law enforcement could have got involved. And the last thing black folk need is more engagement with law enforcement when we don't need to, all of this. And we're doing this, and we're providing a platform for this. To what end? Is the $20 more important than our national cultural ethnic image? I made a statement earlier, what I talked about. Let me find it. I hate when I get something and then I lose it. I'm talking about because we're talking about national aspiration in the future. I was talking about, and I'll just paraphrase. We're just talking about how this isn't just a moment. That wasn't just a moment in time. That behavior lingers. It's always going to be there. And as the clinician stated earlier, our women, even our more valued women, will get painted with the behavior of a Brittany Renner.
Right.
Brittany Renner, and I'm not talking about her as the individual. I'm labeling the behavior of Brittany Renner. The behavior puts our women at risk.
Yeah.
Our women are completely unaware of that. Let her live her truth. Let her do her thing. That behavior puts her at risk. So what happens when she's in a public setting, or she's in a setting and there is no live cameras? And we got some dudes that are not always right. And they interpret this behavior as she down, she game. We're not gonna sit there and pretend like we ain't got fellas out here who don't believe that they can just take it.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
absolutely.
But you kept talking about the protection. We can't protect that.
Can't protect it, right?
But we got Kosher, you know the Crimson Cure, right? You know who she is?
Yes, sir. We've done shows together. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see how she dresses in her hijab and all this, that,
Right.
and the third.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, to the dominant culture, when they think all women act like Brittany Renner, do you not know that hijab does not mean anything to them, that they still see Brittany Renner in her? That Brittany Renner's behavior makes Crimson Cure unsafe, makes her unsafe.
Yep. Black
culture is ratchet.
Right. It is.
And we are providing a platform, and we're and this is right now, she's no different than, you know, what them what's that thick girl name? Man, I kind of check out of the stuff. She got her tattoos everywhere. She got a makeup line coming out talking about her lipstick. She's gonna name it Yellow Discharge.
Oh, you talking about Sexy Red and Sukahana.
Them suckers.
Right. Right. He said suckers.
Now let's take a look at Club Shay-Shay.
Well, I don't know, like I said, but it reported, he said that there are women out there that do their homework on guys. I mean, because now the salaries are, and you know, you can just Google.
Yes, you can Google stuff, yeah.
And you can just, oh, he makes this, and he has the endorsement over there, and he does this and that.
Especially with NILs now too.
Right. Huh? You know about that?
Mm-hmm. It's public record.
Oh, it's public record, huh?
Public knowledge. Because I mean, these college athletes are getting money. Why are they driving Maybachs? That's an NIL, baby.
Yeah.
Come on now. You're not dumb.
Could you date a normal? Could you date a guy that's not a professional athlete or that's not in athletics?
I don't even see myself.
Here's the better question for me. I'm not asking. He's asking, could she date? Who would be crazy enough, if you are a professional athlete or you are in public, who would be crazy enough to take this on?
There have been folks that have done it. The varying degrees of failure. Success and failure.
She's a danger. She's dangerous.
Some people like hating TJ.
She shot her shot at Cam Newton.
Failed.
Cam was like, I would never F with you on no level. You can see it in her face. She, kind of broke her soul when he told her that. And I believed him. He was like, I'm not trying to end up in no book with you. I'm not trying to end up on Twitter with you. I'm not trying to do that to my family, to my kids. I don't want, you reckless.
Some folks like danger too. Some folks like danger, TJ. Just saying. Some folks love danger.
I mean, does she have the ability to still get somebody out there like that? Kosher, do you think so? I don't know.
Get somebody like what, top tier man?
Yeah.
I think her chances are dwindling. I think if he's a young guy and he doesn't really understand women in game, perhaps she might can get a Russell. But by and large, most men know that this woman is delusional. This woman talked about having 36 bodies like it was nothing. And then she talked about what a man got to do to be her man. And women years ago, your grandmama, your great grandmom, those women understood you had to bring some value to a man. And having a bunch of bodies was not consistent with getting the love and respect and honor from a man. But see, that's what happens when you're in a culture that has extreme narcissism. Brittany has some narcissistic tendencies. She might be a bona fide narcissist, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just, yeah, I can hear you. I'm just taking this stuff in. You know what I mean? It's overwhelming. And then I'm thinking about what she represents, and I'm thinking about what Shannon Sharp represents, and how those two worlds should never cross. Mm-hmm. But we are out here fighting, including Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp was very concerned about his image after being fired from FS1. He was fired from FS1, and he was concerned that no one out here would give him a shot because that's how much power his cohort, Skip Bayless, had. So he's concerned about his image, how he's going to play, if he's going to be able to continue to do what he do. And he aligns himself with this. Are we out here? The main reason why I brought you out here, Culture, because you're a little bit older than me, a little bit more learning on me about some of these issues, and I'm not afraid to say that. I don't think it's shameful to say what you don't know, you know what I mean, or don't have an understanding of. This, I guess to be as, put it where the goats can get it. I look at this and I go, are we just done? What are we fighting for?
Yeah, I think we're done. People don't understand systems theory, real bravado. Systems are not made overnight and they're not built. The whole contextual framework of systems theory says that the part is not greater than the whole. But you have a part that are greater than the whole or the broader collective. And you see a percentage of our women, not all, shout out to all the good sisters, but there is a percentage that see themselves as an extension outside of the Black collective. And because they refuse to respect the order and respect of Black men, it has to de-evolve before it can evolve. And you cannot have a community where you don't honor and respect your men. You can't have a warrior class without respecting the warriors. The men are the warriors of the community. They should be, but a man can't give his power and freedom away because that's enabling bad behavior. And then behavior modification, the more you enable bad behavior, the more you create a pathology that you complain about. So it has to de-evolve before it can evolve. And just like the Black people or the Black community was great, we went through cycles of Black greatness before we de-evolved to this current monstrosity that we have now. So it's gonna take generations for it to change. I don't think it's gonna happen in our lifetime. I think it's foolhardy to assert and assume that we're gonna get the same outcomes that we had years ago. The gospel say, unless God builds the house, the laborers build it in vain. And so if you have a system that's not predicated or built on respect and masculine order and masculine leadership, and our women wanted to be loved and protected by their men, it'll never happen in this lifetime. It can't happen because it's inconsistent with not only the biology of a masculine man, but also what's necessary to have a healthy community. It won't happen in this lifetime. You can write that down. Say the coach said, but it won't happen in this lifetime, brother Sam.
I agree.
All right, let me. I gotta follow, but look, hold on. Before I get there, let me do this.
Money making is my thing, cause I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Here comes the
All right. Speaking of the homeboy, all the way from overseas, the Quiet Storm with the $10. Hold on, let me move this down because I can't see. With the $10 super chat for tonight's. For tonight's therapy session. Attention is a hell of a drug. Yes, it is, sir. People continue to give this woman oxygen and a platform. That's what I'm saying. For clicks and views, some women seriously need to stay off social media. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. My goodness.
Being an athlete again.
Really? Why?
Well, because to something you said earlier.
I don't know what I said earlier.
Okay, sorry.
I don't have a recall like you that can remember everything that happened in their life.
Because there's a lot of men who are not willing to make that jump, and when there are things that are public, a public figure has to take into account what is the risk versus reward with dating this girl and having her on my arm, having her at the ESPYs. There's a lot of men that would not sign up for that, and I feel the type of men that maybe there's a good chance it's like kind of opposite things. It's like either someone super young that's new and doesn't care, or someone who's already established doesn't give a f and do what they want to do. And I just, either one, it's just kind of like, eh.
Right.
I really don't see myself with another athlete. I'm not gonna say never, never say never, because I don't want the love of my life to be a freaking athlete. And I gotta eat these words, but I just don't see it. I don't see a man having the courage to not only take a.
Why does why does a man have to oh, I don't even know what to say. She said a man has to have the courage. That's a nice word. That's a nice way of saying a man has to be stupid.
Right.
Courage.
Am I wrong for what I heard there, or am I off base there a little bit?
You're not.
No, you're not off base.
Off base.
You're not off base at all. We live in a world, Bravado and Brother Fred, where it's called taxation without representation and the mental breaking of the American male. The American male have been conditioned to take less, to take less when your grandfather and your great grandfather didn't take less. So I created a term, man, and I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but it's for humor. But I really mean it because art imitates life. And this is not to the good black women that are listening. I'm not talking about the good sisters. I'm not talking about them. But there is a percentage of women, Brother Bravado. My man, Peaceful Life came up with a term called relationship capitalism. Well, I parroted that, and I came up with a term, and I've been hearing a lot on YouTube, so I don't know if they got it from me, but I created it from the top of my head. It's called hopeflation. And basically what it means is that you got subpar women that expect more and more, but they're not giving you anything in return. The gold standard about 50 to 100 years ago, a man got a virgin, he got a woman that was wife ready, and she had no kids. My mother was a virgin when she got married, and so was my grandmother. And they were wife ready, they had no kids. But you got men that make good money now, and that woman to tell that man you're not good enough. You're gonna make six figures, but ma'am, you got a lot of bodies like Brittany. You got kids by other men, multiple men, different men, and you want a man to pay all your bills and treat you like a queen. But what is that man getting in return? And so we live in a world when we fail to ask men or black men what they want. And that's why I came up with a term consistent with the clinical term. There's a term in the clinical work called consent. And consent basically means that you have to ask for permission before you can disseminate information. Well, I parroted that by coming up with a term called black love without consent. You cannot have black love until you consent and ask the black man, what does he want? But we live in a world where we don't ask black men what they want. And because they don't ask black men what they want, when they hear these conversations, they're shocked. Because black men have been saying this for years, but it's never been made public. But when they hear it, they're shocked and flabbergasted because we have so many men that have been trained to over-identify with their mothers that when they hear these salient talking points, they can't receive, the women can't receive it from other men, but the boys that were raised by their mothers can't receive it because they over-identify. And over-identification is very prevalent in a lot of young men now. They haven't seen masculine men or masculine authority. And so they over-identify with their mothers. And that's a problem, to say the least.
And I completely agree with that. I mean, because I'm not going to sit there and say that I at one point in my life that I wasn't in that category. But while you're talking, it reminded me of something. A sister, she's a coworker of mine. She's a fantastic human being, but so she ended up I told her she hit the lotto. She doesn't believe it, but she hit the lotto, she hit the jackpot, she hit the Powerball, she hit the Mega Millions, she hit the state lottery, she hit it all. She hit bingo. She has 4 kids, 3 different men, and a man with no children married her.
Right.
And not only he's 6'1", good shape, you know what I mean? Moderate to small to medium size. he does contracting business. He's known locally here, and he has no children. And then I told her one day, I said, hey, when's the last time you told your husband thank you?
Right.
She said, thank you for what? I said,
Right.
I said, for marrying you. She goes, what? She was confused. I said, you need to, I said, I think it'd be a good idea. I said, go home when you get off in the morning, before you go down, lay down, because he's getting up to go to work. You walk up to that man, touch him on the side of his face, and say, thank you for marrying me. And she goes, why do I need to thank him? So I says to her, listen. I said, lady, listen. I called her by her name, but I'm not going to say her name. I said, listen. Now, you may have a particular view of yourself, but I'm going to tell you this. What that brother did for you was nothing less than remarkable. He has taken on you and 3 other men's children. Before I could make the next statement, she goes, he didn't have to. And I said, I said, but he did.
Right,
but he didn't have to. But he didn't have to. I go, but he did. But he didn't. I said, but he did. I said, this man has to tolerate and share you with several other men. He ain't sharing me with them. I said, yes, he does. Yes, he does share you with those other men. You got those other men, children. You got to be in contact with those other men. He's absolutely sharing you with another man. Another man gets to make decisions in his house.
Right.
Go home and thank your husband. I said, you hit the jackpot. And I said, you don't think you hit the jackpot because it happened to you, but you hit the jackpot. Look around your family. I said, hell, look around this organization we work in. How many other women with as many kids as you, as many fathers as you got, can sit there and say what you can say? I got a productive black man with no children to make me a wife. I say, go home and say thank you. And she fought me on that, because she could not wrap her head around. And she goes, well, other black women can get what I got. I said, are they willing to do what you did to get them? Because I said, let me tell you something. I'm not trying to drag you, but you had to do something pretty damn remarkable to get that man to sign up for this. How many sisters are willing to do? I'm keeping it a buck. And let me tell you, ladies, something. Is it impossible? No. Is the slog hard? Yes. But let me tell you something. You're going to have to do something extremely remarkable to get not even just a man with no kids, any man that's productive to sign up for some garbage like that. But the fact that our women don't even believe that they need to say thank you for a brother who did something extraordinary for her. And he took her when she was 39 years old.
Yeah. he don't know what his worth is, man. A man of that caliber will be a demigod in other countries, man. He don't know what his worth is, and that goes back to when you don't have strong masculine men telling you what your worth is. A woman of that kind of baggage, she would have been a castaway in other countries, and she would have been a castaway years ago. Women that had kids in the past were grateful. They were humble, because they understood that their sexual market value was low. But I don't blame the women. I blame the men because the men give them the power. Brittany Renner probably got damn near 40 to 50 bodies, but she is acting like she's the prize and what a man got to do to be in her life.
She talking about she got 35. That woman got way more than 35. But
she got more than 35 bodies. And so, can you imagine if me and you or Fred was going out, man? Men are very territorial. The woman is Shannon Sharp was saying. I got to go in about 5 minutes. Bravado. This has been good, bro. I really enjoyed it. It's been way better than I anticipated. This has been dope, man. We got to do another show again. I enjoyed you, Bravado. But you did a great job. I really appreciate it. I love your effects. I love your studio setup. You did an awesome job. But can you imagine going out Bravado with your boys and me and Fred out, and you got your girl and the dudes come and say, "Yo, Bravado, that's you." What you talking about? That's me. Man, shit. If she was in college, the whole frat used to hit that. The college football team used to hit it. And so there's nothing proud about knowing that all those men enter your woman, but they don't understand that men are territorial by nature. But if you reverse it, because I came up with the term called the penetration principle, if you reverse it, there are many women have been with women. Some guys can look past it. But let a man say, I've been with a man before. They'll never look past it because that man has been penetrated. And so men got to start having standards, man. And I think a lot don't like the conversation there because men are beginning to have standards. I don't knock women for having standards. A woman got a right to say what she wants in a relationship. Don't knock it at all. But conversely, men got a right to say, I got standards too. But when men start saying what they want, then all of a sudden, you're misogynist, you hate women and all this goofy stuff. But that's the dysfunction we have in Black culture, man. Very dysfunctional. And a lot of immaturity, arrested development, and a bevy of other things we should talk about. But no right man in his right mind can be proud of a woman that got 35 plus bodies, man. And she's walking around like it's a badge of honor, man. It's disgusting to say the least.
It absolutely is. And my frustration is the fact that we got too many men out here. Damn near every platform that Brittany Renner's been on this year has been a male's platform, but mostly Black men platform. Somebody said earlier in the chat, or maybe it was the Quiet Storm, that talked about why we keep giving this woman oxygen. It's not Brittany Renner I got a problem with, it's the behavior.
Right.
It's what Brittany Renner represents. I don't know Brittany Renner needs she needs institutionalized therapy. Allegedly.
Well, the Quiet Storm is right. It's called a narcissistic supply. Narcissists love attention because they have very fragile egos, and she probably is loving all the attention that men are giving her. And she definitely has some grandiosity. I'm not here to diagnose anybody; that wouldn't be ethical. But she does have traits consistent with a narcissist. But then again, she could have borderline personality disorder. There's a lot of mental illness in the community that's been undiagnosed, man. Sad, and to say the least.
Yep. Before you go, we're not going to be on much longer. Let me just once again, before I got you on here, I want to thank the kosher clinician for loaning us his time, loaning us his YouTube channel platform. His people have been showing up and showing out over here.
Oh yeah, I got some proud soldiers, man.
Hopefully y'all can check me out on your own. I normally don't stream in the evenings anymore. I just normally stream about lunchtime, and I call it the coffee break. So I come on for about an hour and a half and do some things over a coffee break, And don't forget, support the brother. Send him a super chat, like, share his stream, show up. It gets other people to support. We're over here doing the work, and there are not that many brothers out here that are genuinely trying to do the work. Genuinely trying to do the work. It's almost midnight. It's about what? Almost midnight where this brother's at, and he up here talking to me.
Yep, it's almost midnight.
Gotta go to work in the morning. Gotta go save some souls, save some families. This is the work. I'm not over here talking about. A lot of people come on YouTube and are talking because they want the YouTube check. The kosher Christian, I can tell you, that YouTube check ain't what y'all think it is.
It's not. Trust and believe. Definitely not, bro.
It ain't what you think it is.
Right.
And I'm over here doing it. Let me tell you why I'm doing it. Because I woke up at 38 years old and realized I've been duped.
You've been duped, yes, sir.
I woke up at 38 years old and realized I was 15 to 20 years behind.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up at 38 years old saying, I don't have a purpose. What am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
How did I get here? I woke up at 38 years old, 150 pounds overweight, not realizing what that last 15 years or 20 years of what I was going through unnecessarily because I didn't have the education, the teaching, or the training to do what I do. We're talking about a guy who had a full athletic scholarship when he was in undergrad. trying to, going out 3 to 4 days a week now, paying a brother $500-$600 a month to help get some of that back at this age. A lot of brothers are in my situation, but a lot of them just, they just get this despair, and they burrow their head, and they just kind of keep on because they didn't did it all this long. Damn that. That's kind of how I am. Damn that. Now that when I woke up, and the awakening didn't happen all the way at 38. The awakening started happening at 38.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't become fully aware until about 2 years ago.
Right.
And so I'm on a mad dash to readjust what I can readjust with the time and energy I got left. So there's of us out here that's out here doing the work, having the conversations, and sometimes we do some fun stuff over here. Sometimes we'll dilly-dabble. Like I'm addressing this stuff with Brittany Renner, but I'm not spending time dogging her, analyzing the behavior. I mean, just in the trash of it. I'm talking looking at this stuff from the perspective of how this shit affects us.
Right.
This is like a research project for me. I'm a clinical study. It's like a clinical study, about how this stuff affects us. I got other content creators that are here for the fuckery. Theo Coop, the Do Better podcast, Meshy Mashawn, and they do good work. It's necessary and it's needed for the venting of it. But we over here doing the work. What are we doing to each other? And there's accountability over here. So, Culture Clinician, I'm gonna be on for a few more minutes, bro. You gotta hit it. You gotta hit it. Your channel will be live with me until I end. So
no doubt, man. Man, it's been an honor, man. We'll definitely do it again, man. I love the energy. I really appreciate having the opportunity to talk to you and Fred. Your presentation was immaculate. I'm very impressed with it, and man, I'm glad I came through, man. It was an honor to be with you, man. I like your energy. You're a good brother. And we got to do a show at some point, man. We'll definitely do a show at some point. And God bless you and your added work. And what you're dealing with, brother Bravado, it's called an existentialist crisis. A lot of men have been to a state of arrested development, but they go through what's called an existentialist crisis. Some call it red pill rage. And they finally realize it with them. I've been in this suspended state of animation all these years. What I thought was reality really was a facade. And so when it comes to reality, they go through rage. I've been through it. I'm sure you've been through it too, Fred. And and a lot of men, when they wake up, it's very deleterious. But now you are seeing the light. And some never see the light of day. Some will never have this conversation because sadly, many have taken their lives on their journey or this excursion for higher knowledge and higher criticism. So some see it, but many don't see it. Many are in the grave right now, waiting until the resurrection because they didn't have this conversation. They didn't have a Culture Clinician or Real Bravado TV or Brother Fred. They didn't have it. And so that's why we got to have these conversations as men. That's why black male content creators need to support black male content. And also good sisters need to support black male content, the ones that are righteous sisters. And understand that when men have conversations, we're talking as men. If it's not you, don't take it personal. If it is you, still don't take it personal because we're not attacking you. We are attacking the bad behavior. And that's what many don't understand.
Absolutely. That's why I said at the beginning of my opening, we over here, we attack the issue, not the person, unless the person is the issue.
Right. Excellent point. No doubt.
Yeah. And oftentimes the person isn't the issue. It's the issue is the issue.
Right. Right.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're gonna keep cooking. I'm gonna keep cooking with Fred. I appreciate those of you on the Culture Clinician YouTube channel. Stay with me. Don't log off. Come on. If you continue to super chat, they'll go directly to this brother. Share the stream. Hit the like button on this side of the stream. Also, those of you watching from the Real Bravado Network side of things, go ahead, do the same thing. And those with the Trailblazer Network, which radio network, which is my buddy Frederick up there, go ahead, share his stream, hit the like button, and go ahead and give him a sub. He needs a sub. We're trying to get him monetized.
Yeah.
So get it.
Right. I'm gonna go subscribe to it right now. You said what's the name of his channel? The Real Trailblazer Network.
It's Trailblazer Radio.
Trailblazer Radio. I'm about to subscribe now. Hold tight.
What is he?
Yep. I'm subscribe right now. Can you send me the link, man, for Trailblazer Radio? I don't see it.
Yeah, I'll see. Coach, I'll send you the link.
All right, send me the link so I can subscribe to his channel.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. I'll email you the link when we're done.
All right, brother. I appreciate it, man. Blessings.
Yeah, blessings, brother. Appreciate you.
Right, no doubt, brother.
All right, let's get to Frederick. Let's get back to what this lady had to say. Okay.
A risk with me, because that's what love is.
What's the risk?
Well, in love, it's a 50-50 risk. It's every person across the board, but I think that I am very vocal. But I also have not met any men that, number one, see my value, and if they see it, they don't understand it. So that's why I don't really see.
So in other words, when a man can't look outside of what he sees right here and what he
Well, this is gonna fade. So what else? So
Right.
what makes me different than the girl that is the build a down the who's willing to do whatever and let you cheat in private, or I'm sorry, in private, let you cheat in private and do whatever. Like, beauty is fleeting. That's why there has to be more going on.
Right.
That's why I open my mouth and I speak and I stand for something, because this is, again, I'm always going to be beautiful because I'm beautiful in here, but yeah, we all get older, and I don't want to bank on my looks.
I'm not so sure, Brittany, that you're that beautiful inside. I know that's what you want to think. You know, one of the hardest things to do for individuals is to be completely honest about who they are. I don't know if you're beautiful inside because I don't know you personally, but based on how you move, I don't know. And then you got a little son. You got a little son who gonna see this guy, man, all bad. As Messy Michonne says, she's a good mama.
Why would anybody want to do that?
But I think now, if someone, it's hard for me to imagine a scenario, and I do hope you find, I think everybody deserves that if they're wanting of that, and it seems to me, as I sit here and talk to you, that you are someone that's very passionate about finding love. And I think the thing is that that person knows who you are. They know some of the things that you've done. So that person that wants to be with Brittany Renner, they're gonna know what she's done and be okay with that. Do you think it's hard for that? Is it hard for an athlete? Because athletes are very prideful, and and don't take this the wrong way, but they kind of like, that's mine, and to know that package.
Well, first of all, athletes, are you there, Frederick? You gotta unmute.
I'm here. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
listening.
first of all, athletes are not the only ones who are like, oh, that's mine, that's mine. Athletes are not the only group of men that are territorial. All men are territorial. Shannon, I don't know why you think that's exclusive to an athlete. I don't know. Maybe that's just the world you live in all the time. I don't know.
It has been unwrapped by somebody else on multiple occasions. It doesn't sit well with. I'm gonna keep it one. You say keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
But then you have to go back to when there was the Derek Jeter diamond. That's what my track record's like.
So she's sitting here comparing herself to how men are viewed. You are not viewed in the same vein as a man. I know you want to be, but that has never been the reality for women. That has never been the reality. That I don't know why you want to be viewed in the same vein as a man. You guys have no idea what this responsibility entails, carrying this on. Why do you want to be us so bad? Well, so you guys have no idea the burdens we carry.
Heaven's the Murgatroyds.
What'd you say?
Heaven's the Murgatroyds. Boy. I can't. Because going back to what she said earlier about, risk and stuff like that. Dating in this day and age is a calculated risk. Folks can agree with me on that or they can't. But the way I look at it, it is a calculated risk because you're literally walking into a situation blind. You don't know this person. You're trying to get to know this person, and you're going out on these dates or these interactions to find out what this person is about or who this person is. So there's a calculated risk because there's a strong risk that you can find that this person may not be the person that you thought that, but I won't say thought that they were, but they may not be the person that they impressed upon you initially.
Yep, absolutely. Let's get through this last 2 minutes.
But Derek Jeter gets a segment on ESPN where they have his dating history in the. Let me finish though.
No, I ain't saying nothing.
You was
I'm just
thinking it.
I pray.
You were thinking it.
I'll get some water because I'm sweating in here.
Because my dating pool is, I mean, my
Expansive.
God, impressive, expansive. I've had sex with 35 guys. Okay.
Whew. Oh Lord.
Impressive isn't the word. So if I'm judged for
Anybody else need a shot of this?
if I'm judged for having
Damn. I'm sorry.
Bruh. She said impressive.
One more time. Hold on.
She said impressive.
Hold on a
Multiple
second.
occasions, it doesn't sit well with. I'm gonna keep it one. You say keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
But then you have to go back to when there was the Derek Jeter diamond. That's what my track record's like. But Derek Jeter gets a segment on ESPN where they have his dating history in the. Let me finish though.
No, I ain't saying nothing.
You was thinking it. You were thinking it.
I'll get some water because I'm sweating in here.
Because my dating pool is, I mean, my
Expansive.
God, impressive, expansive. I've had sex with 35 guys.
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
Damn. Damn.
She said 35 guys.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Oh my.
First of all, that's not a flex. Like the quiet soul said, that's not a flex. You should be flaunting that about like it's a badge of honor. And then you said expansive and impressive. What's impressive about that and what's expansive about that? Not a damn thing. Baby. Baby.
Black culture is ratchet.
This is the stuff that this is the shit that we allow, bro.
And black men, you're providing platforms to the queens and kings of ratchet. But yet you want to fight about, you want out here want to talk about how the dominant society deals with your public image and how you treat it based on your image when you yourself puts up with it. Frederick, I'm going to wrap this up. Hold on a minute, okay? I'll be right with you.
For sure.
Lord have mercy. Listen, our public image is intrinsically woven into the fabric of our collective identity. You know, we must, we gotta tread carefully when deciding who we elevate to the grand stage of public discourse. We have to tread carefully when we are deciding who to elevate to the grand stage in this public discourse. Imagine, if you will, the vast theater with an audience of millions of people. And every word spoken on that stage reverberates. Every act is magnified. Now ask yourself this. Who do you give the microphone to? Whose voice will you echo? Whose hearts and minds do you want to influence? To grant someone a platform is not merely about amplifying a voice. It's an actual endorsement. It's a tactic. It's a tacit agreement that the words spoken from this individual have value. and that they're worth listening to and they're worth viewing. And while freedom of speech is the bedrock of this country, not all speech, not all actions will validate, but some actions, some words will in fact harm, mislead, and perpetuate a narrative in which we do not want. When our voice or actions that tarnish, when a voice or behaviors tarnish our collective image, it's amplified, especially if we are the ones giving the platform to have it done. The damage isn't just on the person who's doing it or committing the infraction. The damage is also on the person who gave the platform for it to happen. It might not be an immediate, but I'm telling you that it's enduring. Today's words, today's actions becomes tomorrow's memories and eventually the record of history. The perceptions created by actions like a Brittany Renner can take root and has taken root. When you got a congresswoman, as in Maxine Waters, calling a woman who wrote a song called WAP, calling that senator, that congresswoman, calling the woman who wrote the song WAP a national treasure. How in the world do you not say black people and black culture ain't the culture of Ratchet when you got a woman like Maxine Waters validating Ratchet behavior? And I'm not saying that there's not a place for it. It's just not a place in the public discourse. We got enough fights to fight. We are in a digital age now, and the words and the things that we do will live on forever. If you do not believe me, go ask Will Smith. Go ask Will Smith. A tarnished image isn't easily rectified when the internet archives every misstep, every spoken word, every action. Black people's reputations, both individually and us collectively, is fragile. And we are under a constant onslaught to be marginalized, to be disenfranchised. And then we ourselves will give a platform to someone to continue to produce that harm for us. We become trapped in a feedback loop where the negative portrayal keeps getting reinforced, gaining validity merely through reputation. This crap that Brittany Renner or the Brittany Renner types do becomes who we are, because it gets played over and over and over and over and over. And I am tired of being tied to people who don't give a damn about how they're perceived. How you are perceived by the society is how you are treated. If you don't believe me, but look up what's going on in Florida with the school districts. Look at what's going on in Alabama with the redistricting of the districts. Look at what happens. Look at what happens when you got even middle-class black neighborhoods that come in and take the grocery stores out of there, even though there's no crime, there's no looting, there's no nothing. They'll just come take it out because the community is predominantly black. So, why not? When we give the spotlight to those who damage our image, we co-sign it. We co-sign it. You, me, everybody. When we don't say nothing, when we do nothing, and then when we give the platform, like my homeboy Shannon Sharp did for Brittany Renner, Shannon Sharp co-signed Brittany Renner's effed up behavior, her effed up mindset, and he allowed that crap to continue to get infiltrated into our culture and into our, because people value what Shannon Sharp says because he has credibility. And because he has credibility, you lend that credibility to Brittany Renner. And when you do that, you sideline those who can push our ethnic image forward. When you do that, you simply cut the legs from up under us when you continue to give a platform to the worst of us. All because you want $20. Like you need that damn $20. We have sold out our culture, or whatever you want to call it, for sensationalism and $20 super chats. To sit there and say that we need to be discerning, that's an intentional, that's obvious. We just don't get or understand the weight of responsibility that comes with granting someone a platform. Public perception is everything. Every act has consequences. Everything you do has consequences, including who you allow on your platform and to what end. In this journey we call life, we often find ourselves at a crossroads, in spaces that challenge our very essence, questioning our worth and diluting our spirit. I'm reminded of a powerful teaching from the Bible, from the Gospel book of Matthew. He teaches, if anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home or leave that town and shake the dust off your feet. That, my friend, is a profound call to recognize that we are more valuable than the $20 that you're going to get for having a Brittany Renner type on your damn platform, or even a Charleston White. And I don't have anything against them either. Those who bring damage to our public image is bringing real life danger to you and to me, to your children, and also to your future opportunities. This kind of reminds me, like for those of us who are disgusted by this, where do we go from here? Where are the best of us celebrated? Because the best of us celebrate the Ratchet. But what about the actual best of us? This is saying, go where you want it. Go where you want it. Go where you respect it. Just because we've been somewhere for a long time doesn't mean that that's where we belong. Just because we've been in this ratchet downward spiral for a long time, that doesn't mean that we need to stay here. Just because we've been trapped with a poor public image doesn't mean we have to keep it. Remember, every space we vacate creates room for new opportunity, new relationships, and new growth. It's past time. It's past time to move on from the Brittany Renners of the world, from them setting the standard for our collective image. It is time for us to just move on from them. Go where we're wanted, go where we're needed, go where we're celebrated, And maybe, even though I might like Shannon Sharpe, I might identify with his story, I might find him entertaining, I actually rock with him. But if people like this continue to bring people like her, I'm talking about Britney, but people like her and her behavior and loaning their credibility to that person, what does that say about them too? It's just, I don't know. I'm asking myself this question. You need to ask yourself this question too. Is it just time for us to move on?
You know, I know somebody out there need to hear this. Somebody that's scared to start over, scared to move on. But I got a message for you. J1.
If the feeling don't stay there, then why you still lay there? It's time to move on. It's time to move on. If the feeling don't stay there, then why you still lay there? It's time to move on. It's time to move on. I know you're scared, because I've been there before. Afraid to take that step of walking out the door, because you don't wanna be alone, living in a world feeling unloved. So you rather stay there, even though there is no trust. If the feeling don't stay there, then why you still lay there? It's time to move on. 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 If the feeling don't stay there, then why you still lay there? It's time to move on. 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 He may take care of you, but that's not all he's supposed to do. What about your feelings, girl? And your emotions too? What about